Welcome everyone to season 3, episode 6 of DPF on Tap. It looks like a motherfucking Brady Bunch up here with all these people. I don't even know if we're like fitting everyone in. I'm like trying to fucking toggle this around because we got like more people on than we can actually show. So we wanted to welcome SFH, still fucking here. I wanted to say a couple of things about these guys. We love other groups that have 3 letters in their name. We love other groups that one of the words is like not considered a fun word or people don't love. I mean, I love the word drunk and fucking, but not everyone feels that way. So I wanted to, welcome Lance and Brian, and we're going to have another member of SFH. So welcome, guys. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having us, man.
I wanted to kick it off with that overall arching question. Intro yourselves, guys, and just tell us a little bit about what you do at SFH as a whole.
Perfect. I'll let Bryce start us off.
All right, so I am an original founder of this. Originally, there was 3 of us, me, Tyler, and another buddy who is no longer with us. And there he is.
Sorry.
There's teeth and forehead and hair.
Sorry.
So there were 3 of us that originally started this kind of during COVID. We were watching people suffer. People were losing everything. We have a lot of friends in the entertainment and music industry that couldn't work, couldn't do anything. And kind of before we started, I told you guys with the day job, I was out, I was busy, I was working, and just coming home and trying to give some money out to this one and that one. And we were just shooting the shit one day about, trying to find a way to give back. And Ty is one of those, and he'll get to his story. But when he was in the hospital recovering from his 1 or 2, fingernails getting hurt, he was trying to make everybody feel better. And I'll let him tell his story. So I was supposed to be the silent one, the brains behind it, the money behind it. And the day after we launched, somebody put our picture on the internet. And I am actually up at Nick's Roast Beef in Northeast Philly one night, seeing a buddy's band play, and 2 people come and sit down next to me and go, "Hey, Brian, how you doing?" So I slide over 1.5 feet and go, "What the fuck just happened here?" And that was kind of the beginning of, doing events and being out in the public. I was not supposed to be here. This was supposed to be these guys. But here we sit.
There was the one event, dude put the microphone clean over my head and went to Brian. It's like they don't want to hear from me. How weird. All right, Lance.
Sweet. Yeah. So I am Lance Price, another co-owner of We Are SFH. My backstory is a little different. You'll notice all of ours is. I did a little over 18 years in the military as a Navy foreman, doing multiple deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan, resulting in chronic PTSD and TBI. I fought and went through and looked through different areas of my life trying to find a way out of the darkness. Luckily, I found my way through a procedure called the SGB shot, and it's been history ever since with We Are SFH. Go ahead, Ty.
Cool.
Raised in North Florida. Ty Southern. What's left of?
We got to get Ty the little teapot a new microphone or something.
My mic keeps muting itself for some reason. I'm going to try to hold the volume. I'm what's left of Ty Southern, a corporal in the United States Marine Corps. May 5th, 2010, on my second deployment, I stepped on 10 pounds of homemade explosives, resulting in the immediate amputation of 3 limbs. And then I spent 2.5 years in the hospital rehabilitating and rebuilding my arm from the elbow down. And then retired in 2012. And whenever we started talking about doing the clothing line thing, I jumped on immediately because it was always my goal not to leave anyone in the lurch. Like Brian said, one of the biggest things that helped me through my time in the hospital was going to the ICU and talking to like the freshly broke dudes and trying to give them some hope, trying to get them giggling, laughing, see that their new normal is both possible and, right around the corner. And that's kind of the same deal with SFH. Is we want everyone to know they're not alone in whatever fight or struggle that they are dealing with or have dealt with.
So, guys, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate the story. And, I think that us 4 guys from DPF, we may need to talk to you throughout the season as the Phillies shit the bed. Keep our hopes up.
Agreed.
To make us feel okay. To know.
We'll make sure you have the direct number. We'll give you the red phone line. We got you.
Yeah.
Hey, really quick, I just want to shout out Nancy. She was on the number 7. Yeah, fuck the Mets and have fun at spring training.
That's great. Thank you, Nancy. Guys, appreciate you coming on. You touched on it a little bit, but can you go into a little more depth in what kind of inspired you guys to start this and how you came up with the concept for your business?
Ty, you are the inspiration. So
but that sounds real shitty when the inspiration talks about being the inspiration.
All right. So, I mean, before I actually knew Ty as one of my best friends, I'm going to tell you there was an event at Warminster Park where the old NADC used to be. And Ty was up at that event, and we met briefly. And to watch him get out of his chair, like I said, we had met for 2 seconds, and dance with the kids and let them ask the questions and just be this amazing, outgoing human fucking being. You can't not help but be in a good mood when you're around him, even when he falls out of his wheelchair. You just can't help not be in a good mood around
My
him.
hip is on fire.
All right. Well, that's because you broke your wheel. So we got connected by, like I said, that former business partner, mutual friends. And like I said, it was during COVID. We just wanted to do something to give back. And we have a guy who makes clothing for a lot of people, the WNBA, Harvard, Yale. We had talked about a couple of things. And we said, well, let's build something honestly around Ty. Somebody to inspire. And I mean, COVID, people were getting shots. I mean, I had a friend that died 2 weeks after her second vaccine. You didn't know what was going to happen. Most people were stuck in the house unless you were like me flying back and forth to Florida where it was open every week to hang with these guys because you could fly to Florida first class for $29.
You know, closed for like 2 weeks.
So we did a lot of that. And I mean, the idea came to start with t-shirts and hoodies with just the basic SFH design, the basic logo, which is tattered, ripped, and broken with a heartbeat that stops a bunch of times but never quit. That's Ty. And we decided that 50% of our net proceeds were going to go back to those who needed it most, whether you are a wounded warrior, recovering addict, cancer survivor, someone that got out of an abusive relationship, whatever your fucking battle was, you came through. The Fuck Cancer shirt was one of our second or third shirts. Anything you've come through and come out the other side, we wanted to be here for you.
Mm-hmm. Get a jersey. Become part of the team.
There's so many out there that doesn't have a support system. We want them to know, even though you don't think there's a support system out there, there is. So no matter what, there's people out there that you can reach out to.
Love it.
That's awesome.
We kind of expanded it from the original SFH to our original designer is a guy named Barnaby Oakley out of England. And after he did SFH, so British. After he did the original SFH design, when we came looking for our second design, he goes, well, after meeting you guys and meeting Ty, I've actually designed it. Here, this is for free. And that is our heart design. And the heart is tattered and broken and stitched up and beaten. And it has the logo on it. And he said, I designed Ty's heart right after I met you guys.
That's great.
That's
and
amazing.
that's kind of where we do. And then Lance really took over the reins, and we started doing these road shows where people would invite us to events to sell our stuff. Shit we thought we were never going to do. We were an online clothing company. Bry's hiding in the corner over here.
And then now Brian's on camera and talking the whole time.
He's everywhere.
I love it. I would say
I hate you both.
No, well,
no, you don't. You really don't.
Well, say something important, Ty.
That was not a you need to shut up. I'm just saying you're talking your ass off and you're the one who wanted to never talk. But no, at the events, So the 50%, one of the questions in the email, the 50% of the net proceeds, we want to eventually be a hub where you can just see, oh, who does SFH approve? Because we thoroughly vet the various charities that we have partnered with and do co-brands with them and stuff. But if you have us at your event, the 50% for the event will all go back to whatever company had us there. But the goal is to eventually have, every month changing to We Fight Monsters, and then get cycle through, so that 50% always goes back to somebody who is struggling with some fight,
whether we have it or not.
Yeah. That's a Brian decision too, because we go into the red. We do
A lot.
but that's mostly Brian's fault too, though. It's not tied in.
It's 100% Brian's fault. Our first event was an Irreverent Warriors event in Jacksonville. So it's a bunch of vets that get together, and they fit in perfectly here because they deal with things through dark, fucking sarcastic humor. It was like being in South Philly for the day. 600 guys cursing, screaming, drinking at 6 a.m., smashing beers. It was fucking phenomenal.
Sounds like opening day.
Yeah.
The only group of people who's immediately comfortable talking shit to me without like, let's test. Oh, fuck you. Let's test the waters and see if he's cool with jokes. Like, no, if I roll up to a veteran event, they're like, fuck you, you half a fuck.
$700 goddamn microphone that's broken on. Yeah. So we had such a good time, and I was like one of 2 non-vets there, and we had a really good day. And I joke around that I reached into the cash box and I handed them what was in there because we had some credit card sales, and I said, well, on the flight home tomorrow, I'll figure out if there's any more, and I'll give it to you. And about 20 minutes into the flight, I'm looking down at the books going, well, who the fuck's paying for all the shirts we just sold? I just gave all the money away. But we really don't care. Terminators kind of started the ball rolling with this because, like I said, during COVID, we made money. We were one of the few businesses. Pest control and disinfecting did not slow down. Everybody was stuck home with their fucking kids. So the yard treatments and, get my kids out of the house. I mean, had a customer say to me, if I would have known I'd been stuck in a house, I would have never had 4 kids in front of her 4 fucking kids.
Well, that shit, and the screened-in porch. I don't know. That's not a thing up there where y'all are at, but down here, the screened-in porch companies were just round the freaking clock because, like, they were once we opened, they still were booked out for like a year, like a famous tattoo artist or something. Right. Like, damn it. Hurricanes pick up screens. I can't get my shit fixed.
So what challenges did you guys face getting it off the ground?
Initially, honestly, one of the first things was worrying about fucking being part of the title.
Yeah.
And then the veterans found us first, so it honestly wasn't. That ended up not being a problem. Well, honestly, the longest thing was getting the right gear.
We went through.
We spent like 8 months testing shit.
Well, you had the guy from that fucking English guy that sounds like he was one of the characters in Clue making stuff for you. So,
well, we had to design pretty quickly. But when you're a clothing company or an apparel company, like you guys know, you go down to the Phillies and they give a giveaway, and if you wash it 3 times, it really doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
So we needed to
rub your nipple
find
clean off.
The best clothing possible, so that like the prototype shirts from when we launched, I can put next to one that's brand new and you can't tell the difference. So we wanted to make sure that we all went with the top of the line, next level clothing. It took a while to get there. And then we started with one brand of hoodies, and people didn't like the way they fit in certain areas. So they died, and we tried another brand and they washed up horribly. So
yeah, they balled up.
We put out a quarter zip a couple years ago and go, wow, this would be great in a hoodie. So we found out that's available in a hoodie. So all of our stuff is top of the line. It's just what are we looking at?
I was modeling the hoodie.
Look at the time modeling the hoodie.
I didn't even see it.
That was fantastic.
But that's our teapot. Yeah. Well, again, so that design right there came on a napkin one day. We every Friday morning we have a 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. conference call. 7 or 8 minutes of work and 2.5
Shitting
hours
on each
to get
other
my balls busted for being from Philly.
Pretty much.
I know a guy.
But it is
I
difficult.
know
We've
a
had
guy.
some things like we put out a Back to Blue shirt that did a limited run like the original Fuck Cancer shirt. Nobody bought one. It was really weird. Like everybody's, it was a weird era. We were trying to show that we did support law enforcement. We've done a bunch of what we call the co-branding. Like with Brian, we did the Battle Brothers. We've done some stuff with Veterans Rights where we take part of our logo and part of theirs.
Have a baby.
Have a baby. We've done the like I said, the strong woman and the I am woman for just I have a wife and a daughter. I'm sure you guys have I know one of you guys definitely has a wife, Mrs. DPF. So it's just we're trying to embrace everybody and their strength. And I mean, what am I missing, guys?
I'm loving watching you get through it, brother.
Right?
You're doing a wonderful job.
It's kind of cool watching you talk.
I was gonna say,
It's
you want
usually
to
us, so that's kind of cool.
You want to direct one of them other questions?
Since Ty had technical difficulty, you can throw one at me.
I don't understand how the guy with the most expensive microphone that does a podcast weekly has the worst microphone.
It only happens on StreamYard.
Something to do with StreamYard. Yeah, we've noticed that.
Huh.
If I speak too loud, it just
shut you down.
The lights go from 8 to 2.
That means you have your volume on to automatically fix.
I don't. Me and Zach have fucked with it.
Okay, move on.
It seems like they have to rein you in a lot, so maybe StreamYard's just doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, I'm the problem.
There really is no rain in tie-in. We let especially at an event, everybody.
We just let him run wild.
Aim Tyler. You have to aim me. they're just like they need some Tyler.
That way.
I'm on it. Or I'll find the other amputees really quick. We just did it. We did a Wild West show in St. Cloud. That sounds right.
St. Cloud, yeah.
But there's a woman there who she freaking ear to hit. Her left arm was gone clean at the shoulder. And she, before I could say anything, I was like, "Oh shit, hey!" She's like, "We can be bookends," because she's missing the opposing arm.
So one of our guys does not have his right arm from his elbow down, and we found it like we were selling koozies, and they could be for beers, but he had it as a stub warmer. These did fucking phenomenal.
There you go.
I use it too much. It would go flying into the I keep getting accused of being Italian too. You talk with your hands still, even though you don't got them, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm sorry. I was just.
If he throws the nub around enough, he thinks it's going to grow back.
That would be hilarious, but I mean, at this point, it probably would have done something.
Right.
15 years.
So that's kind of what we do in a handbasket.
Cool.
Shirts
going
and
back
smiles.
Going back on your initial question, I would say that one of the things that we're really trying to get out there is the fact that we are not just a veterans-based group. We are for anyone who's going through a fight, or whether they've made it through a fight. Anyone who's kicking ass and taking names. Basically, we're here to support and help build you up. I just wanted to throw that out there since the question was asked.
Yeah, no, love that. Who the fuck has Mr. Softy in the background?
I was just going to ask the same fucking question. It's not me.
Yeah, it's not me. I want a snack now.
And someone's just doing this.
I want a $9 cone.
Yeah.
It is not me.
So, guys, what MLB teams are your favorites?
Baltimore Orioles.
Well, I grew up in Alabama, so Atlanta Braves was the go-to. So my dad diehard
No one
Braves
loves
fan.
you.
Fuck the
Sorry.
Braves.
All
I
right.
told you this was coming.
There's always
I mean,
one. There's always one.
There is.
Fuck
I mean,
Chipper and fuck Larry Jones.
but to be honest with you, I have not followed Major League Baseball in a while.
In a koozie.
But it was Atlanta Braves growing up. Yeah.
Yeah, he was busy overseas doing shit and saving the world and saving people.
Is that a Brave?
Yeah, immediately one of our guys jumped in. It's like fuck.
I don't even know.
So, do we-
I have no clue.
I was expecting hate than the Braves got. Do we not hate the Orioles? What's up?
No, we don't hate the Orioles.
We don't give two shits about the Orioles.
I'll take it. I don't give a shit. Not plus y'all talking shit. Bombs didn't bother me. You think I give a fuck about you?
This is who we really hate.
But I do have. Damn it to hell! I got my Darren O'Day autograph ball pitcher, Baltimore Orioles,
Yeah.
and Cal Ripken Jr. Don't really need to tell you who that is. Over
Yep.
there.
Nice.
We were at his third to last game, and I was like, "That's not as cool as his last," but we were at his third to last game.
Actually, fun little fact. A guy I used to drink with in the neighborhood bar. He was in the Orioles minor league system, and he got hurt and ended his career. And Eddie Murray wound up taking his place.
Wow.
Fucking
So that's yeah. So that's.
I don't remember the
crazy.
dude's name. Like I said, with the pest control company, I see a lot of things and I'm in a lot of places. And I remember servicing a house a couple of years ago out in Jersey, and there's a Mets jersey hanging on the dude's wall. And same face. And I'm looking, and I look down at my app and I'm looking at the dude's last name. He played in their minor leagues, and I'm going, I don't want to service his house.
I hope you fucking brought bugs into his house.
I wanted to see termites, rats. By the time I was done there, the house was condemned.
Is that hey? You know a guy? I'm sure you know a guy who can get.
So,
They all know a
pretty cool,
guy.
actually. Well, that's just say everybody busts my balls about this, but look. Do we not have a guy for everything? If you needed a roofer tomorrow, you need a driver tomorrow. It's
how he says
they
it, y'all.
don't understand that. They don't have
It's
that
not
down there.
It is not that we have.
You don't have
It's
that,
not
too.
that we don't have it. It's just I think that is growing up in the same location your whole life, living a military life for 18 years, moving every 3 to 4 years. You don't have a guy. You get a guy at that third year, and then that fourth year, you're gone. Hey, my guy's gone too. I got to start over.
I thought it was because you guys were down south and you still have the yellow pages down there. We don't have that here.
It's funny you say that. One of our partners just got their internet upgraded. when we do our monthly podcast, she leaves her computer on to like 4 a.m. to upload
because it takes that damn long.
And if
that-
you look at her back window, Disney's castle is there. They just have no service down there. So yeah,
That's
they
so
have the yellow
crazy.
pages.
Like she
that
puts
the
the
free
phone on
judo
and it's
disc?
going.
The little man is still running.
Dial-up.
So, and this is with the upgrade that the poor Kelly has got. I mean, it's horrible. And we use Riverside, right, Ty? For our
Yes.
podcast.
Yep. I wonder if this will even show up, but I got to do first pitch.
Oh
It came-
yeah.
Oh, that's
There you go.
awesome.
That's all.
Holy shit, that is badass.
That was the Darren O'Day ball. We went to the same high school, and we didn't know that till Orioles came to Walter Reed to talk to us. And the usual, where you from? Da, da, da. I was like, Jacksonville, Florida. What part? Mandarin. What school did you go to? Mandarin. He was like, me too. I was like, oh shit, class of 07. Class of 01.
Oh, that's
You want to
cool.
come? You want to come do a first pitch against the Blue Jays? Yep.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
yeah, that's killer.
Work that out in 3 minutes.
All right.
So, well, that's kind of the
that's
way
great.
kind of the way we do things. It's funny when we started this, neither of these guys, like, we do things quickly up here. You make a decision, it's done, it's over. Used to be Lance would get an email and I call him 10 minutes later and say, what do you think? He goes, what do you mean? I said, about the email. He goes, well, I saw you send it. I didn't read it yet. I said, you didn't read and respond? So I sent them both off to DAV camp. And now Ty even checks his email without being told once in a while.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody tells them to
So-
check it at all.
I am notoriously terrible about checking my email.
That's called growth, fellas. Well done.
Yeah.
Nice shot.
It may not be my limbs, but my person is growing.
now you don't have just one owner getting pissed off that everything's not moving quickly. Now you have all the owners pissed off. That everything's not
Y'all
moving
also use
quickly.
the fact that you're like my best friends on planet Earth.
There's that part too.
And like, oh no, I feel real guilty. I'm letting my homies down. I'm not carrying my weight around here, even though I'm likely the strongest one on the team. But whatever.
You're also a TikTok diva now.
Eat
You
what's
never-
left of my ass.
And
What?
you never skipped leg day, right?
I leg day hard. I had to show them
So hard my
children's.
legs fell off. What?
I had to show them children's. They were all giving me shit.
Yeah, you did.
I can still front squat 210, bitches.
Okay,
That's hilarious. You do have to rein him in a lot, don't you?
just a tad.
Just kind of led me into a question that I had around, like, you guys are talking about growing the business and all. What lessons have you learned along the way that we can steal, basically?
Get a Lance. Like, Steve, you can clone that. But no, they would have to tell you that stuff.
Get Ty a new microphone. Go ahead, Lance, because you
Yeah,
are the driving force.
And honestly, it's having a team around you that's going to support you no matter what, and that's willing to say, hey, look, this sounds good, but it's not going to fucking work.
Oh, you think any of these guys are shy? We're talking about stuff they don't got for their mechanisms.
But I mean,
That's stupid. Fuck you.
Being honest with each other, and then working with different organizations that are loyal. Like Ty was saying, I have a very big heart, but I am very big on looking over an organization and assuring that the funding is going where they're saying that it's going, and the percentage, not that the funding is going where they're saying it's going, but the percentage that they say is going to that location is going there. If you're not willing to share with me when I'm putting on a event for you to earn money for your nonprofit, if you're not able to share the books with me where all your money's going, then I can't have you as one of my vetted nonprofits. And that's one of the things that I think we really have set a bar for and with We Are SFH.
We're not usually quiet about it too when we walk away from those people.
Yeah.
Right.
So like you guys, I guess the night of the plane crash in the city, and you guys, I told you about the medical jet that crashed in the city. You guys jumped up and raised what, $6,000 in a couple of hours.
Yep.
I mean,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm watching it and I'm watching it. You know, so I would just say, you know, you just got to watch where that goes, because it only takes one asshole to say, oh, look, he gave it to the girl standing at the gas station corner or something like that. And we've had some organizations where we thought we were going to work with them, and Lance goes in and go, well, we're not going to show you where our money goes. Well, we're not going to give you 10 cents then.
Or everything that's coming in is donations, including the money, but the food that's being used that's coming in as a donation. Everything else is coming in as a donation. Okay, so where is your monetary money going? It's going to an apartment. Okay, then we can't be friends. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that type of situation.
Like going to board members and paying the people in your scene, and it's like 50% actually goes to what the fuck they say it's supposedly going to.
And the rest is their mansion somewhere else. Yeah.
Yep, got it.
I mean, if anybody comes and looks at our books, they are really going to see that we are in the negative. We give away, I mean, and Lance hates it, but I mean, you know, we give away to the point where the bills roll in, and I'm using personal credit cards to pay the monthly bills because they had an event last month. And again, these people need it. And they don't ask for it. So we give more, usually more than we say we're going to give. If an event wasn't big, I mean, there's not a lot of money in t-shirts. So what's 50% of proceeds of a good t-shirt? $7. So you got to sell a lot of t-shirts. So you go to an event, you sell 10 shirts, you made $70, and then you had gas in this, you take it out, you made no money. Well, you're not going to not give money to these people. So somewhere a couple $100 is coming out of somebody's pocket that's going to go to these people just because they were nice enough to invite us. And usually when we do our events, we don't get charged a vendor fee. Like the New Orleans event, I was telling you, we did that Veterans for Airsoft event. Super. I had to fly down. We take the cost of the plane ride right off because these guys drove from Florida. but you had 4 hotel rooms for 5 nights. You had meals, you had this, you had that. Now we had sales, but we actually lost money on the event, probably $6,000.
Well, I can explain that because Ty and Lance were buying a fucking 1,000 beads to give out to the ladies. Like, you know, it was just tons of beads, and I looked through the books, and I just wanted to let you know that.
Beads and jambalaya.
Yeah.
Hand to God, my only mission when we went to New Orleans was get food from someone whose last name was hard to pronounce.
And we did. We found this mom and pop place at the corner of a place. Like it was definitely.
It was so
a
good.
local
We
place.
never got to experience, what is it, the French Quarter?
No, we
Yeah,
didn't.
we didn't go.
We drove by the ugliest 2 stadiums on the planet. The Caesars, whatever the hell it is, and the Smoothie
The
Kingdom
Smoothie
stuff.
King Dome.
King.
It's like I like smoothies and stuff, but come on.
But it was so dumb. And we got stuck in all the traffic, but the event went from sun up to sunset. So by the time we were done standing out in a hot parking lot for 8 hours, I mean, hell, the last night we door dashed in Baskin Robbins.
And I swear we were all 3 falling asleep at the table trying to eat it to go to our rooms.
It don't matter. I got beignets and jambalaya.
Covered the 2 bases.
I'm gonna say, yeah, I needed
do
to
that.
get a beignet from Cafe Des Monts.
We did
So
find
that was
that.
it.
Yes, somebody brought that to us.
Yeah, someone brought it. Someone was like, "We got these big bag of beignets." I was like, "Ah, I need 2."
So community like DPF, our community and our audience is really important with us, and connecting with them is huge for us. We we'll have tailgates down at the stadium, and we're always out there giving out our stickers or magnets or something, and just saying, "Hey, this is where we're going to be. Stop by, have a beer with us." How big is that for you guys to connect with your community and your audience, and how do you go about doing that?
So how big? First off, happy Bri, happy Ty. Because if Brian sees SFH in the wild, he freaks the fuck out. It's hilarious.
We're the same way.
It's so cute.
Cute is not the word.
And trust me, I chose it on purpose. At the events, we have the little info card and bracelets that we give out. I keep at least 50 on my joystick on my wheelchair. So I'm always throwing bracelets at people wherever we go. What's the shirt? What's that mean? What's this? What's that? Why are you so broken? Why do you have so many teeth in your face? And I'm just like, let's talk about it. And here's a bracelet about it. And people, I'll look it up. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Then Brian tells me there was no sale, so I'm probably not doing it right.
So
building the community is the hugest part of everything that we do. I honestly, in my opinion, it's definitely helps me heal through my traumas that I deal with as far as mental health wise. And I know I've seen that it helps these guys heal too, when these guys come up to us and really want to learn our story and learn, okay, well, what steps did you take? Because that's the biggest thing that we're trying to do, reaching out to the community to tell them, hey, it took a lot of fucking steps for us to get there, but we got there. We want to try to help you out so your steps aren't as dark as ours, so you don't come out with as many scars as we did, if that makes sense.
The path.
We actually have the main
Drop glow sticks.
SFH Facebook page where we'll share our shirts and our stuff like that and the inspirational stuff. But because the community has grown, so we have an SFH shares page, which is just people putting up a positive note. Have a good day. Was thinking about you. Just people. Nothing is sold on it. It's just community members from different communities, just putting up different posts about things to just try to help somebody get through their day. But community is what has really started us. I mean, our Facebook and let's just go with Facebook because that's all I fucking know. I know we have a TikTok. I know we have an Instagram. And unless these guys send me the shit from there, I don't see it. Brian, there we go. There's our man. Go Birds.
You know that guy.
The Birds.
Yeah, and it does. It introduces us to guys like Brian and Joey and, some of these other people that are also trying to help through their projects and their communities. And I gotta say, and I joke around, from a guy from here that is supposed to be a dick most of his life, and we come off that way wherever we leave the area. It's what it is. I've done more traveling with SFH than I've ever done in my life, and you just, I don't know, somewhere along the way, I've become a kinder, gentler version of myself.
No, false.
Should we say I'm sorry?
No, y'all are all kind and gentle deep down somewhere. You just have a very aggressive outer coating that is not scared to hurt people's feelings. And and you'll stand up for what you believe in no matter what. Y'all are the right kind of people, I assure you. But no, he's gooey as shit on the inside, and I bet all four of y'all are too. Like
yeah, you guys will have to give me some dates when you're going down to the Phillies games and tailgating and shit, and I'll come on. I'll grab the missus and we'll come on down.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you guys see the brand heading in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what are you looking forward to? What's the succession planning, and what's like the hopes and dreams of it?
Oh, the main thing, like we've touched on it a few times, because not one of us is trying to become a bazillionaire off of any of this. We want to build the community more than we want to do anything anyways. We just, like, literally the baseline for all three of us is just more people, getting one more person to understand that they are not alone, that someone feels what they feel, or someone understands what they feel, or someone will help me. I can reach out to somebody if I need to, whatever they need, whatever lifeline. We want to hopefully be that for as many people as we possibly can.
And it may not be us. It may not be us.
In a pay it forward, like butterfly effect. See what we make the biggest ripples in this bitch.
Love it.
Yeah, we've done, so aside from the veterans events, we've done a Rock to Stop Suicide in Florida a couple of times. Up here, right outside Spring Mountain, we sponsored the Rock the Perky event, which is a fentanyl awareness thing. We have friends that have unfortunately lost their son, with fentanyl. We're trying to help as many people as we can. Like I said, the vets are the first to find us, because obviously with these two, you can't not find them. You see Ty rolling around. But we just really want to grow the community. I mean, everybody jokes that at some point somebody's going to come along and want to buy us up, and I don't see us going anywhere. We just want to continue to put out really good products. We are now international, where we started here, but we are in Canada. We are in England,
Australia,
Greece,
Ireland.
If you ever step foot in the Bahamas and walk into the the Gone Fishing Bar, you'll see our shirt hanging in the rafters and a koozie at the end of the bar.
So the only vanity-based thing that we've ever said was that we hope that eventually simply the EKG will be a very noticeable image, like the Nike swoosh. But beyond that, the goal has always been just affect as many lives in the positive as we can do.
I used to think I wanted the SFH black jet with the heartbeat down the side, but I'm not flying anywhere anymore, so I don't want that. Maybe the Winnebago.
You put hand controls on it, I'll be the happy bus driver from hell. Let's go.
There we go.
Well, yeah. Well, you drive like that now, Batman.
I'm aware of what I am.
When you've died 13 plus times, you drive
less,
like
you get less tickets when they're like, "Oh shit, what?" And I'm like,
drive like you'll be back for 14 and 15 times, no matter who's in the van with you.
I wonder why he drives like he thinks he's got extra lives.
Yeah.
So Ty, is that really your last name?
Southern? Yes.
Yeah. What a great fucking country artist.
Right? Or a guy that's gonna be first at high noon, We try. I got a cousin or a nephew named Mac, M-A-C-K. Doesn't stand for shit. And his brother's name is Colt Jackson. So
Jesus.
So I don't win.
No, you don't. I just hearing that. I want to tuck a dip right into my cheek and gum. Have a guitar on my my dog next to me.
Well, and it's funny because the whole bloodline is from Baltimore, which is still the South technically. But I mean, my father's generation and siblings were the first people to leave Baltimore in the family since they came over from England. Like the ancestry thing, there's just a big ass blob over the DMV area. But yeah, I was Southern. It is.
So at some point, maybe we'll try to figure out a DPF and an SFH co-brand.
We're always up for helping, others. That's kind of like what's
figure out maybe a local charity up here or something. Because I mean, we've given to, like I said, a lot of different ones. We just, if you've got a Ty saying something,
they got
there you go.
They got the Philly autism thing that is super amazing. Right?
Eagles
that thing.
Well, Mike, maybe you step in and say what you think here.
So
my son's autistic is why that was.
Oh
no, you're good.
Yeah,
why
I just put this up because we had the banner made. It's very personal to me. If you're 45 and you haven't gotten a colonoscopy yet, go. It saved my life. Got surgery in August. Was diagnosed in July. Got surgery in August. Had a 4.5 centimeter tumor in my colon. They took that out, 17.5 inches of colon, my appendix, and some lymph nodes. And so I'm actually on my 10th out of 12 chemo regimen. And we found this. I went through, Lance, I feel your pain. I went through like 5 of these kind of all related to colorectal cancer. And these guys give like 90% of their proceeds to who they say they're giving them to. And the other ones were like minimal, like 20 to 30%. So
it's unfortunate that there's so many people that make nonprofits just to make money, not to really help people. It drives me crazy, and that's why it's very important for me to vet anyone that we partner with.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, he's in charge of all that. That's. I didn't have my first one until I was 55. And the only reason I actually had that is my father died of stage 4 colon cancer because he would never let them do that test.
Mm-hmm.
It's not great, and it's not the test that sucks. It's the prep.
And they made it easier, Ty. Yeah, they made it easier. You don't have to drink. You have to drink some, but it's a lot of pills, and it makes it way easier.
Back in my day, I would say I'm probably the youngest
one. You don't have to drink
here.
those 2 jugs anymore.
Yeah, I'm probably the youngest one here, and I've had a few, and I've had to drink the 2-liter of barium.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
No, you don't do that anymore.
No, I didn't even have the pills. They were out of them. I want to say I did a gallon of Gatorade mixed with Miralax.
That was
but that was it. But it was. I was in Wildwood 3 hours later watching a guy play at a bar. We went right down to shore. I felt great afterwards. But yeah, now there we go. There's Mr. Ty.
He got a perfect colon cleanse and he was ready to go.
Baby.
My butt's clean, so I'll walk down the road like I can do.
I'll waddle off.
I didn't walk, baby. I rolled.
Mike told me about this new thing where like you just shit in a box and then you send it out. And he had me do that, but he sent it to Dugan's house. I'm all clear.
It's on my shelf. I still have it on my shelf. Right now.
The VA sends those out and when you turn 45.
Wait, send it down to Ty. He'll put it next to the hand he got married in up on his shelf.
Oh yeah.
So
it's got tattoos that I have and everything. I love that thing.
Oh my god!
Awesome.
They wouldn't let me keep my real one.
That's awesome. So do you guys like? I mean, we're obviously in a different genre than you guys with the drunk Phil stuff. So we get criticism sometimes, and our favorite thing to do on Facebook is we give them that care button. That's the fuck you button for us.
Yeah.
How do you guys handle if you get criticism from people with something you've done or a decision that you guys have made?
So far, SFH hasn't had to deal with that really. We do our best not to be polarizing in any direction, and not like take sides on the big issues. As a company, but
we try and stay out of politics and that kind of shit. But if you say Alec Boehm sucks, all the Alec Boehm fans come out and say, "Oh, you're a fucking asshole." You don't know what you're talking about. Or
so maybe it's the crowd that we've dealt with at this point, but we haven't. The only issue that I think that we've had is the older genres having an issue with our name.
Yeah, having fucking
the majority once we explain it to why we went that route and
what else would you call
Ty smiles. and waves his arms in the air, they usually come to our side. So there's like maybe a 5% that's like, no, Buxton, I can't buy your brand. Buxton, your
Well, yeah. Oh, and
there's gonna be those people.
I'll
Yeah.
tell George and Gert that we don't need it anyways. It's fine. I'm sorry that I.
I love it.
I mean, my mom wears the fuck cancer shirt.
Yeah.
She do.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, we had the same issue with the drunk word, obviously. So, like, Brian, you're wearing the shirt. We shortened it to DPF. So for people who had an issue with the drunk Phils fans, now it's DPF. So we've given people the option to take that drunk word out.
We want kids to wear it. We want priests. We want teachers. It's more of a.
That was actually the biggest complaint was teachers saying
it was.
Wear it.
This is a local podcast, so we have a friend's daughter who goes to Bonner Prendy.
Okay.
Wears our bracelet, and the U is just start out. Just like a couple of our shirts she's gotten in there, the I Am Woman, the Strong Woman, for volleyball practice. No one has said anything yet.
Is that the Rosie the Riveter one where she's doing this?
Yeah,
I love that
one.
It's my favorite.
The I Am Woman, I am enough, I am important, I am badass.
Yep.
So every time I'm going to give Nora, I'm going to give Nora a shout out here. So every time we come out with a new shirt, I send one to Nora to see how far we can push this. I'm not trying to get the word fuck out there to wear to school where the kids in trouble. We did come out with a love more, judge less shirt because that was, some of the, I don't know. It was
a lava lamp.
We're throwing some shit out there.
It was to try something on the kinder side, I guess, more instead of rustic.
Damon wore one to school today, so no one said anything, and they all.
My four daughters. Brian went to Little Flower High School, and they would wear DPF shirts to softball practice or whatever, So they got away with it,
because the back of this one has the fuck the Mets, fuck the Braves, and whoever we play next. Right? I mean, I took this out of the package and I'm going, holy shit, I didn't know that was there. This is great. So, your audience will find you. I mean, I found this group, I want to say a year plus ago. I tripped on it over Facebook. I didn't even know the Eagles drunk group existed until 3 weeks ago. But
Flyers,
fuck them. we've got two teams in this town.
We got a shirt for that too.
Okay. But I mean, really, we've become a two-sport town. No one cares about the Flyers. No one obviously cares about the Sixers. So much so that these guys will laugh. So in the last couple of weeks, we have sponsored an iRacing car. A virtual, these guys sit in a simulator and it's supposedly very big. My uncle, who is 80, is a diehard Sixers fan.
I was wondering where you're going with this guy.
Shut the game off Monday night to watch a virtual iRace on his computer.
NASCAR.
That's how bad the Sixers have gotten.
I would say that, the oldest in the crew was so excited about the car. I'm pumped about it too. I'm a gamer. But he was like, what's iRacing? And we just kind of used context clues. I'm like, I imagine that's virtual racing of some sort. And what would sponsoring a car be like? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe ask the guy. But like, if it's this much and they only want to do a sticker on the fender, fuck that, because it's a video game. They're not going to zoom in on the fender. We find out they're going to do an entire black and green car and put our logo on the screen and do the commercial at the beginning. And we're like, sponsor that immediately.
Multiple cars now.
If anything, it's fun.
We got two cars. We're apparently sponsoring the whole league next year.
We're franchising people. We're blowing up
out there, man.
I grew up in the Northeast. Used to hang out at the Chamonix Mall at the Spaceport.
Yep.
You guys probably remember this. Now it's not. That's what I pictured. Climbing into the mall, putting a couple quarters in, getting behind the wheel of one of the guards, trying to get to the next checkpoint for another 8 seconds.
Yeah.
And technically, it is just they're high-tech fucking simulators. These guys are going around the real tracks, Talladega, Texas Motor Speedway, from the comfort of their garage or their basement or their living room. But a lot of them are disabled vets, and it's what they use for therapy and stuff like that. So I figured we'd sponsor the car. It looks great going around. And as Ty said, if I see the name somewhere, I'm a happy man.
He giddy.
So guys, I want to like kind of sum up what we talked about today, but I also want to like let everyone scrolling across the bottom. We are SFH.com is where you can read more about the story of SFH. You can get their gear. I'm wearing one of the we did the t-shirt exchange, so I was able to get the fuck cancer, which was absolutely awesome, and we switched up. We did like, you know, we're not players anymore, so me and Brian like we're done the game and we switch each other jerseys, so it was pretty cool. What's one thing that you want people to take away from today? So there's listeners that maybe heard you for the first time. And I know that like giving back and selling, so that's why I wanted to do that. But like, what else is something that you like want? There may be that one person that you touch, those 20, those 10, those 100. We have 1 million people on right now, guys. Wink, wink.
I mean, I go with our mission statements.
I wasn't even gonna go with the mission statement. I was gonna go with another nugget. My bad.
Go for it.
Positivity in general. So if you're looking for negative all day, you're only gonna find negative. So having a positive mindset comes from looking for the positive things in your day because they're there. You're just trained your body and your mind to see the negative. You know, the coffee spilled, traffic sucks. I live in Philly. That kind of stuff.
Attaboy.
But if you're like, oh no, but we got the Eagles and we got the Phillies, and you know, and if you're focusing on the good things, you know, you end up finding the good things faster and more. You'll end up seeing the silver lining before you see the cloud if you can just retrain your brain to find the positives over the negatives. And that's always my hope when I'm telling anyone. They're always like, how do you do that with your face after everything that's happened to you? And I'm like, I played video games my whole life. I know these little things all throughout the screen that I'm like, go get that, go break that, go do that. So all day you got to stop looking for fuck that guy, fuck this.
It boils down to choose your heart.
You got to find the happy. Choose your fights.
It really boils down to choose your hard too. I mean, if you want to be in a negative mindset, if that's the hard you really want to choose to be in, that's where you're going to be.
There's a lot of Philly pride in being a very angry person.
There you go.
And I mean, honestly, Lance's goal from the time I met Lance, his goal was to help one person a day get through what they're getting through. And that kind of has expanded to us. I mean, the name of the podcast that Ty and Zach do is the One More Podcast. They just want to touch one life, change one life, help one person. And that's kind of the goal, to build this community one at a time. I mean, we've got the social media out there. Like I said, there's some spots we're not selling anything. We're just trying to grow, and good things come to those, I guess, who kind of do. I mean, the TikTok video last week that Ty went viral with was some nice woman saying that she doesn't believe veterans should get a discount.
I saw that one.
So then you saw Ty on the back end of it. The thing went nuts. We made a difference in a lot of people's lives. You touched a lot of people without trying to. And the comments, I mean, we had emails coming into the website, just Ty, you know, thanking Ty for his service or what he's done, or Ty ended the video with kick rocks. So like I said, most of our messages are positive. This lady wants a kick rock shirt. I said, I really can't do that. If we ever do a little side piece, then we'll get you one, but you can't. So that's really the goal, just to touch and to help. And that sounded really wrong.
We want to touch all of you.
We want to touch as many as we can.
Reach out and touch you. Okay. Caress gently. What?
Jesus. I mean, I think there's people getting in trouble for that, guys. But I think you need touching the heart.
Get consent first. Always get consent first.
No means no.
Always. Consent is a noise they make, not a feeling you feel. Sorry. I'm done now.
That went wrong.
We've never edited before, but we might have to with this one. We just normally throw it the fuck out there.
My wife is texting me as we speak. What the hell did you just say?
All I said was don't rape. I mean, what the hell? That's only a good thing, right?
Sorry, babe.
So this is a good way to end it, and this is kind of like a good story here. So Elena, her brother is a Phillies former player, former GM, and current announcer. When he was announcing, he kind of like is looking at like one of the guys like playing. He's like, "Man, I want to rub him all over." We're like, "What the fuck?" What the fuck? And brother's name's Ruben, and and Alina's saying, "Don't go Rube on this." So that Alina, thank you so much. We've gotten a lot of comments, guys. A lot of I love this so much. But check out wearesfh.com. They are the same name on Instagram and just SFH on Facebook because they don't like you saying the word fuck. Trust us, we know. We know.
Yeah, we know.
But you can find us on all streaming services if you just put in @WeAreSFH.
Okay, yeah, because that's where I listen to the latest podcast on Spotify. But that is how I found. But it was also from a Facebook post. So, guys, thanks for coming on. We're going to continue on and talk some Philly stuff, but we appreciate you. Let's do something great in the future, and if not, do great shit in the future yourselves.
Go Phils.
Go Phillies.
There we go.
Great to meet you guys.
Yeah, love meeting you. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Ready, break.
How do we get out of here?
We got you. Guys, that was pretty awesome. We went a little bit longer here. We're at 55 minutes. Maybe we can choose a segment or two, or we could just say, fuck it, we'll talk. And if people want to listen in, they can still listen in. What do you think?
Fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
So I'll kick it off with the spring training update. And this is more of like a little bit of like what I'm doing, but it's more of like, spring doesn't matter. It's a little early. Listen, I like to win. I don't want to lose. Before this 4-game winning streak, they were 4-8. That's not good. What the fuck we got going on there? Okay. I was like, Jesus, we have like the police coming in someone's house. That's what it sounded like. But now they're 8-8. Everyone in the fucking league is 8-8. They're all 500. So, I think that's fine. You just don't want to see them come out of this. And does it matter? I don't know, guys. But I would rather come out of it, 1 win over 500 than 1 win under.
I agree for the visuals. I mean, I think the bigger thing, though, is like some of these games that they're losing 7th, 8th, 9th inning are guys that they're throwing that they're never going to see the mound in the major league. So, I mean, I'm happy with the way the starters have thrown the ball, and they're leaving games with the lead. I'm happy with most of the guys in the everyday lineup. I think have swung the bats pretty good. Trey Turner's been off to a little bit of a slow start. Kepler's opened my eyes. He's been great. I really like his swing, and I was not a huge fan of his signing, but if he could hit lefties, I think he's going to be a big plus. Harper hasn't hit a home run yet, but he's barreled everything up that I've seen. Castellanos has looked okay. Stott's looked pretty good. Stott's getting a lot of walks. He's getting on base a lot.
He's like at 500 plus, right? Yeah. On base percentage.
Bohm's hitting for some power. So I'm happy with the guys that are going to be our guys. So win losses. I don't put a lot of stock into that. I just want to see our starting 9 and our starting 5 and our main 3, 4, 5 guys out of the bullpen. I mean, Alvarado's look great. So I'm happy from that standpoint. If they lose a game because Joe Blow from who's going to play in Clearwater this year gives up 3 runs in the 9th, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think health is a big thing too. We've only really heard of. Now the Phillies are notorious for not telling us, but we've only really heard about Strom. I think that last bench spot is very interesting. There's 2 or 3 guys that I've seen, watching the games that, man, they're really battling, and I love that because they have skin in the game, obviously, but they're putting their skills, right out on the field. That guy hit a home run over Frenchies, and I think hit Dugan's friend's wife. That ball was a freaking blast.
Yeah.
Is that Rinconis Jr. And
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That guy looks great. I just think they need to have that last guy. If it's not Weston Wilson because he's hurt, has to be someone that can come off the bench and do something spectacular when we need it to happen. Whether that's a hit, home run, a walk, whatever.
Whit Merrifield seems to be available, and I heard he's maybe that type of guy we could look for.
I think the Phillies have some interesting choices because not only do they have that last spot open now with Wilson being hurt, but you have 4 guys that are out of options that are kind of guys that they've used in the past. I mean, Cody Clemens, Buddy Kennedy, Marshawn, and then Tyler Phillips, the pitcher. They're all out of options. To me, I think Buddy Kennedy has the lead right now in that bench spot because he's versatile. He can right-handed. He's versatile. Can play outfield, infield. I think Cody Clemens may end up getting traded because if they try to slide him through waivers, I think he's getting grabbed.
He's getting grabbed.
Right.
Yeah. So I think they're going to probably trade Clemens before the end of spring training. And I think Marshawn makes the team as the backup just because he's out of options.
Yep.
And Stubbs still has one option left. So Stubbs may start the season in the minors. And then if Marshawn, as his history is, gets hurt, Stubbs will be back. But I think Buddy Kennedy is the front runner right now for that spot just because he's out of options, his versatility. And Clemens, I think, he may find himself in a new uniform.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are all like fair points here. Closing up on the spring training before we move to the next. I'm leaving. I'll be down there starting Friday. I'm going to the 3:15 game, to the 3:17 game. Let's meet up. Let's take some pictures. Let's drink some rum runners. I'll mix in a water here or there. I think Steve Burns going to be down there, and I know he don't mess with booze, so I'll definitely do some waters. And Mike, this is a funny aside. So Molly texted me and she's like, "Hey Chris, I'm down here. Like, what's cool places to go?" And I gave her like 3 places to eat and 25 bars.
Exactly.
So that'll tell you.
What do you got, Johnny?
Yeah, I got a case to make the big league club, and it's a bullpen guy. Maybe if there's a spot open, or hopefully there's a spot open. I like this Aoki guy, or I don't know how to pronounce it. I'd say Aogi, but I mean, pretty good over in Japan. 82-61, 3.0 ERA. I like his stuff. I like the sidewinder and the submarine pitches he's got. He's a ground ball pitcher mostly. He's not a guy that's going to throw the heat and get like 10 Ks a game. He's not going to go out there for like 4 or 5 innings, but he can help you. I think he can help you in a jam. Throw some stuff, make some people swing at bad pitches, ground out or whatever. I really like his stuff. Like I said, he's not throwing heat. Like his fastball maxed out at like 92, throws like 88 mile per hour. 70. His sliders in the 70s. But what I've seen from him so far on the Phillies, I haven't watched his film in Japan, but what I've seen so far, I liked. And if there's a spot open, I wouldn't mind that that different guy. Because I know it's a video game, but there's a guy that he reminds me of. Longtime Marlin. I don't know where he is at now, but I don't know if you remember the guy Adam Simber. He has that side winding. Every time I play the franchise on like MLB The Show, I always trade for him and throw him in for an inning and just throw that crazy sidearm shit.
Fuck Pat Neshek. I thought you were going to bring him up. I was going to be like, don't go there. You're not doing that, Neshek.
I'm 3 kids in, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
But I'll
tell you what I did like. What I liked about Aogi is his first outing was terrible. He couldn't throw strikes. Yeah. He was getting behind in the count. and he struggled in that inning that he pitched, but he bounced back his second time out, and when he was getting ahead of hitters, and I think when he gets ahead, I think you're right that sidewinding little slider, back up slider that he throws to lefties, the way the ball moves with the sidearm motion could be very effective. I don't think he's going to strike out a lot of guys,
Right.
but I think he can get a lot of weak contact, and he could be a guy that's in line. Look at that.
That's your rum runner right there. Sorry,
Yeah.
it took me a long time to find it.
He could be a guy if Strom's. It looks like Strom's probably going to open on the IL. He's not going to be ready for opening day. So he could be a guy that maybe comes in and takes that spot initially, and if he pitches well, then maybe he stays. But
guys,
I like that.
stick
I like
with
that he
me
bounced
here
back.
on him. Like, what if we put on glasses on him that were like sunglasses? He's a sidewinder. He's the fucking Japanese T. Colby.
Teak, yeah,
boy. Come out smoking a heat dart.
Yeah.
With a turtleneck underneath.
Yeah, gotta have the. And I think it wasn't even a turtleneck; it was just a dickie. You know what I mean? It was just the top part. It didn't extend down to the arms.
But yeah,
that guy had a rubber fucking arm, man. Teak, he had a rubber arm.
Yeah,
I agree. Like, why not? Maybe like you said, with Strom hurt, or even if there's another spot. I think most of the spots are cemented pretty much. But even if not, I would hold on to him and keep him in AAA. And things happen during the season. We don't want injuries to happen, but someone's going to get hurt. Maybe give him a shot down the road. But I like what I've seen so far. It was a rough one at the first outing, but after that, I've liked what I've seen from him so far.
Yeah. Let me throw out another name to you guys because he's one of our favorites, Taijuan Walker. So, I mean, it's a small sample size. It's only 5 1/3 innings, but one of the things that impressed me so far with him is he's not walking guys, and I think that was one of his biggest problems the last few years. Is he walk guys, then he'd give up that hit, and 2 hits ended up being 3 or 4 runs, because he was putting guys on base with walks. I'm not necessarily saying he's a guy that's going to come in and be a savior for the Phillies, but if he continues to pitch well in the spring, will teams like the Yankees and the Mets, who have some question marks with injuries in their starting rotation, could he pitch themselves into that picture of being a possible trade candidate?
So Jesus Christ, Chris, we have Ty from SFH on talking about inspirational messages, and now you're a fucking Taijuan Walker guy?
I didn't say I was a Taijuan Walker guy.
First this beats Alonso, now it's Taijuan Walker.
Don't start with that shit. I'm ready to get rid of him. I'm hoping he pitches well so we can get rid of him.
He's going to look good in pinstripes somewhere, right?
Is this an audition, right? They told him, listen.
Exactly.
Pitch your ass off.
He's a tick up on his slider, and his sinkers a little bit. He's got a little more velocity on his pitches. Maybe it was a health thing. The guy just wasn't healthy, the past couple of years. But
I think because they didn't tell us.
I think the big thing is throwing strikes. I think that's for any pitcher. I don't think that's if you throw strikes, make them get 3 hits to score a run off you, not the free pass. But I'm hoping he pitches himself into somebody else's picture, and not necessarily ours. Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah. I'm hoping he pitches his ass off like he looks like an elite all-star, and we can get rid of him. But what I think is going to happen now, honestly, I think he's gonna just be in the bullpen. He's going to either be up there. We're going to throw him in when we're getting blown out to eat an inning, get some work or something, or if we got a real big lead. And I'm not talking like 9-7 or 9-6. We got to throw him out but it's like 13-4 or something. But I think that's the only time he's going to get work, just to get him work. I don't know what Topper's smoking. He was like raving high reviews the other day. Everybody's like, is he talking about the same dude we know? But I think legitly
still marketing, man.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that. I heard that too, and I'm like, he doesn't want to shit on him because they're like, we're trying to get fucking something for him and not pay 16 million.
Oh, exactly. Oh, I got it. I understood it. It was just like I want some of what he's smoking. Like, is that medicinal or recreational? But
I think
I
it's
think
just, I think
what's
it's
going to
just bank
happen is
account related.
I think what's going to
Yeah.
happen is like we finally get rid of him at the deadline and just eat that last year. Someone will take him.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yep.
What you got, Mike? What you got, Mike? You got anything?
Oh yeah, Tyler Ivy. So just a little quick update. I did that little expose on him a couple of months ago. He just to remind everybody, he was a first round pick for the Houston Astros in 2017. He was one of their. I think he got to number 10 on their prospect list, and they brought him up, and it was a combination of he was not right with his arm. His shoulder was really bothering him, and so it was taking velocity off of his pitches, and it's like kind of spiraled downhill. His fastball went down, then his curveball went down. They finally called him up in 2021, and he pitched like 8 2/3 innings. He had like a 18 something ERA. They sent him back to AAA where he pitched only like 5 1/3 innings, and then he decided to retire in 2022. So he's been out of the game for 3 years. And back when I first did the research on him, um, he had helped a friend of his do a semi-pro league summer as the pitching coach, and through his injury, he got really bad taste in his mouth for baseball and lost his passion for baseball. Plus, he was injured. So in the 3 years, he got his shoulder fixed, and he talks about how this stint as a pitching coach really revitalized his passion for baseball. And so he started throwing, and they got on the gun they had. He got him up to like 91 or 92 miles an hour. And so he was still Astros property. So the Astros had to do one of two things for his comeback to start. They either had to invite him to training camp this year, or release him so that he can go and talk to the other 31 teams in the league. Well, the Astros thought enough of him to invite him to minor league camp, which coincides with major league camp, as you guys know from Phillies. And right now, his velocity is up to 93. They said his curveball looks really good, and he has a decent shot to make the AAA club. Probably a long shot to make the big club until he pitches in some games. He hasn't played in 3 years. So I thought that was a really cool follow up. It took me like forever to find it, but finally found it in, like the 10th website I was on. But sum it up, he lost his passion for the game through an injury, was able to step aside for 3 years, and now they're giving him another shot. So I'll keep updating you guys as we go along, but I just thought it was a cool story.
Yeah, cool reclamation project.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the lineup and just like maybe people that are more casual Philly fans to understand why the set lineup hasn't been in place as much. Number one, they want to get younger guys some at-bats, right? Number two, veterans rarely go on road trips. Like, I mean, rarely. Bryce might go to New York or to Tampa for the Yankees, but he's not traveling to Bradenton and Fort Myers by and large. I think that since Bryce has agreed to go and bat second, which he adamantly said he would not, but finally relented, I think if you go, Trey, Bryce, and then the third, I really think Bohm's the right guy for that spot there. He's a contact guy. He's not a home run hitter, but he's, hit 300, had 100 RBIs. Protect him with Schwarber at 4. yeah, Schwarber may not see as many fastballs, but I'm better with having Schwarber with guys on base more possibly than not, being a little bit deeper in that lineup than one. Our 7 and 8, 9 hitters were not getting on that much last year when he was at one. When I look at 5, I guess that's Nick's spot, but I'm not 100% convinced in that. It's more of, going the left-right route. After that, I think that's one of the things where, like, is this Kepler? Is it Stott? I don't know. I'm the way I've seen Kepler playing and hitting. I kind of want Kepler, more of a home run threat, possibly to be the 6, and then 7, 8, 9. I would really love to set it up in that way where it's like, JT, let him catch. This dude's like, still an elite catcher and thrower, I think. Hitting, I feel like he fell off. So if you're putting him at 7, I think that's still reasonable. And then 8 being Stott or Kepler, and then 9 being whether it's Rojas or Marsh. And, what are you guys thinking here?
I like that lineup. I just love Harper third. I think Harper's a 3 hitter, and in my mind, I'd put Bohm 2.
Yeah.
Just because of that opposite field, the way he hits the ball to right field so much.
Yeah.
I think you have Turner going first to third all day. I like Turner leading off just because of the ability to steal bases, which I hope.
But my
does
worry
more.
there is they're going to pitch around Bryce at 2.
That's what I'm saying. At 2,
Trey steals second, and then they're like, "Fuck it, we're throwing this dude shit."
Yeah, that's why I like him at 3. But you bat Harper second, he gets more at bats. And it's kind of the same argument of having Schwarber leading off, he gets more at bats. And I thought it was interesting. Sig sent us a text today about Schwarber and are there going to be less home runs? Is he going to hit less home runs back in the lineup because he doesn't have that protection of Turner, Harper right behind him? And I think he might hit less home runs. I think he might also walk more because they might pitch around him a little more because they're not as afraid of Castellanos or whoever's going to be behind him.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a give and take, but I do agree. I like Schwarber batting lower in the lineup with those guys in front of them. And if they're getting on base, you can't pitch around. They're going to have to come at them.
And Chris, these are all great points. I think you and I and all 4 of us are in agreement. We know what the problems are with the other lineup. Let's see if there's problems with this one, and maybe they're a little bit different. There's going to be some issues, right?
Yeah.
But let's stop doing the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it works when it works, and then it doesn't when it doesn't. And I think that's the problem with the Phillies. I think it's more of an approach problem than a lineup problem.
Yeah.
But hopefully you got some new guys, a couple of new guys that are going to be in there with Kepler, and it sounds like they're really high on Marsh. I'm not sure where that's coming for, but
he's having a shitty spring too.
Yeah.
See, on the trading block again, like Walker, they're like, he's our guy, he's our starter. I'm not seeing it.
I do see a nice bounce back year for Stott, though. I think that kid is really a good ball player. And I think last year the elbow issue was worse than there we go. Yeah. I think the elbow issue was worse than was led to, we were led to believe. He could play with it, but he couldn't be the player that he's capable of playing.
Dugan, are you saying that the Phillies lied about the extent of an injury?
No.
Again?
No.
Really?
Not our medical staff.
I think from the games that I've seen, Dugan, to your point, the approach has been different than I saw like in the second half of last year. So it'll be interesting to see once the lineup is set and we start the year, how they take that approach from what they're doing now into the regular year. And hopefully we get off to the start we got off last year and carry it through the entire season.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on with the whole throwing Realmuto out and trying him out in outfield and Sosa in the outfield thing. Like, I know we need outfielders, but I mean, I wouldn't mind going into the season with platooning Marsh and Rojas in center. I mean, Kepler's your left fielder. They already said it. So I don't understand that experiment. But I need JT lower in in the lineup.
I think
Chris,
he's a 7 hitter. I think he's a 7 hitter.
I think
like
that's
Chris said,
fair.
he's not hitting anymore like that. He's got to be dropped down, and I need Schwarber like 4 or 5, right in that area. No lower, no higher, just right there. Driving more runs. Have some. Hopefully, there's some people on base that can drive in. You know what I mean? So I mean, I got no problem with Trey leading off and all, and the couple lineups that they've used so far, like they're trying to be their set lineup. So we'll see how it goes. Like Dugan said, there's always going to be, you're going to have to tweak it at some point.
Yeah, I agree. You want to end us on a trivia, Mike?
Yeah, we could do. I got like 2 or 3 that have to do with spring training, specifically the locations of spring training. So, my first one is, how many locations did the Phillies train in before they landed in Pinellas County? And I got an extra credit if you guys.
I'm going to
So from
say
the beginning-
2. I know it was Little Rock, Arkansas was the first, or I believe it was, and I believe somewhere in Georgia.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say
not
3.
close. There's 2. Those 2 are in there.
I'd say 3.
Okay.
I'm just going to throw out a number since you said 2 wasn't close. I'll say 6.
It's actually 20.
Holy shit.
Wow.
They moved around a lot. Did I save?
Were we ducking paying bills? I know we were pretty broke back
That's
then.
probably right.
Yeah, I mean,
That could have been.
we can't stay here no more. Man.
We're in Cuba a little bit.
So the extra
Get on the
credit
train,
was
boys. Jump on the train. We got to get out of town.
something like that. It was early on, but as we got to the 60s, we've stuck there for forever.
I think they're the longest tenured team, right? At their current spring training.
50 years.
Yeah.
51 years this year, I think.
Yeah, I think they're the longest.
Really?
Extra-
Yeah, because I know the Pirates have been in Bradenton forever.
Yeah, I thought I
I'd
heard
have
that
to
on
look
a
up the
game.
time. Yeah.
That's a good one to look up.
But extra credit for those 20 locations. How many states were they in?
Ooh.
7.
So they had multiple that's close. They had multiple locations in multiple states.
I'd say 9.
Closer. Chris?
11.
10. 10 states.
Wow.
You went over. You don't win. Wah, wah.
Yeah.
Yes,
10 and a half.
One more, and then I got a little, just a fact. So, how many years did the Phillies train at Jack Russell Stadium?
13.
35.
35 is way closer than 13. Yep, 40 is closer. So 48 years at Jack Russell.
Wow.
Paul Owens was quoted as saying that this is the best baseball field he'd ever played on, or that he saw. So the city agreed to give the Phillies $400,000 of taxpayers' money to build Jack Russell Stadium. So the Phillies didn't pay to build that stadium. The city of Pinellas, or the county of Pinellas, paid for that stadium. I thought that was kind of a cool little.
Cool.
See,
cool
that's
little
all they
stat.
needed. That's all they needed was a city that would pay for their stadium. All these other places wanted their money. Like, pish posh.
I guarantee they made that back in 48 years.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Oh, they definitely.
They're going to make it back when Chris goes by Rum Runners this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, that's a good segue. I'm hoping Wally's going to be there and buy me a few. I hope Steve's going to be there and buy me a few. But it'll go back and forth.
Very cool.
Guys, I appreciate all the listeners and viewers staying on this long. We're not fucking Joe Rogan and going to go 3 hours. This is way longer than we normally do. It's an hour and 22. We're going to come back in 2 weeks, and then we're going weekly again. So during the season, we're going to go weekly. We're going to go on off days. We're still going to have some guests. That's still going to be a rotating cast of us. We appreciate you. If you're listening, and this is on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, go on and like us. Algorithms are motherfuckers, so it needs you to like go on and like it. You can put a review. That's cool too, positive or negative, but we appreciate you. Do not forget to give that review, thumbs up, stars, whatever it is. Even if it's not 5, we'd appreciate that. As always, guys, thanks for staying on later. Thanks for everyone viewing later, and fuck the Mets.
Fuck the Mets.
See you too, Donna. All right, bye-bye.